What's up my fellow programmers, hope you guys are doing well. In this video we will be creating our first React Native project using Expo, and then we will integrate Firebase authentication in it. So we will go over how to create a new account on Firebase, how to create a new app on Firebase, how to integrate that Firebase app with our Expo app, and we will be creating a login form as well. You guys can see that on the side of the screen as well. And so if you guys are interested in this video, please keep watching. And so yeah, this is a part of a playlist. Like we will be getting videos on weekly basis. So the next video would be on Cloud Firestore, and the next one would be on Firebase storage. So if you guys are interested in those videos as well, please do let me know in the comments and subscribe and share. So let's start with the video. Okay, so to start building our React Native app, you can just create a new folder, name it whatever you want. I'll name it YouTube, and just open that folder in your terminal. So I'll just change my directory to it, and then just run the command of expo init firebase -rn, and that's it. So now it would ask you like what kind of template would you like to use. So just choose the blank one, and let's just wait. So I'll be back once it's downloaded. Okay, so now we have React Native installed, and if I open that folder up, you can see that in the YouTube folder I now have this Firebase RN folder. So I'll just open it in my VS Code. You can use any code editor that you want. I prefer using VS Code. Now you can just start it by running npm start, and now just open it in your simulator. If you are using Windows, then you guys can open it using your Android simulator. So let's just wait for it to start on the simulator. Okay, so you can see that it's opening on iPhone 14. So in the meanwhile, what we will do is Xpago is outdated. Would you like to upgrade? Okay, yeah, let's do that. Okay, so while it's upgrading it, let's go to Google and look for React Native Navigation. Okay, so now here, let's go to their documentation and getting started. So I want to just install Stack Navigator for the moment. So let's just go and see. Okay, yeah, let's install this. Okay, let's open a different one and let's install this, and let's see what else does it want. So okay, so yeah, we also have to install these libraries, and yeah, we are following the Expo documentation for it. So okay, and let's install the other packages as well. I've just copied and pasted it from here. Yeah, here. So now we're installing these two packages, and yeah, so let's go to hello React Navigation, and let's see. Okay, so yeah, for the native stack we'll just use this, and I'll have the link to this documentation in the description below, so you guys can find it there. Okay, so let's just wait for this package to finish installing. Okay, and now let's just install this React Navigation native stack package, and I think that would be it. So let's go and check the documentation. So yeah, creating a native stack navigator. Yeah, so let's just copy this for now, and let's just replace it with our current app.js. Okay, so now we do have a working native stack navigator. So now let's just start Expo and run it once just to be sure that everything is working fine, and then we can start moving forward. Okay, so just to explain like what's happening in this code, we are importing navigation container, which we can find from the React Navigation native stack that we just installed. And this create native stack navigator is being imported from this package. And now we have created a navigation container inside of which we have our stacks or screens to say. So now here I can go and add as many screens as I want. So if I wanted to also have one more screen, which we will create in a moment. So let's start creating those while it opens up. So src and screens. Okay, so inside of screens now, let's just drag it inside here because we want it inside of our src folder. Okay, so now here I'll just create a screen of like home.jsx, and I'll just copy this home screen and let's just paste it here. Okay, so now we just have to import view. From React Native. Let's just do that. Okay, now we have it, both of that, so it's fine, and we'll export default this function, save it. You can see that we can see the home screen, so now we will just import it instead of having it here. So yeah, here home screen. Okay. I have to change the name, so let's just name this screen as login because we will be creating it. So now, so you can see here that I have two screens. Both of them have the same component right now. So now what we'll do is we'll create a screen called login.jsx for logging, like which will have a login form. So what I'll do is I'll copy this exact thing. Okay, so let's name it as login screen. Okay, so and let's import it as well. So login screen. Okay, and got invalid. Okay, so now you can see that we have two screens here in our stack navigator. One is called home and one is called login. So let's just bring the login screen first and let's just call it login screen. So I think the stack hasn't taken effect right now. Login. Oh, sorry. So whenever you change the order of the screens in the stack navigator, you have to like refresh or reload the app. So that's the issue that we were facing. So now let's just go back to the login screen. And we have this here. So let's just create a text input. It will have, oh, and before that, let's just create a use state. Let's call it email, set email use state. Okay, and okay, so value will be of email, and on change text will have, okay, so this will return the text. This function will return the text and we'll just set it in our text input. So let's do the same for password as well. So set password. Okay, so password doesn't exist. Let's just create that so that this could be saved. Password. Okay, so now it's fine. So you guys are not able to see the input because it doesn't have any styles as of now. So what we'll do is add some styling to it. So let's just add a border width of 1 and border color of black. And you can see here that we can see it now. So let's just give it a width of 90%. Okay, this is way too much, so let's do 80. I think this looks good. And border radius of 40%. Okay, so instead of copying this style again and again, what I'll do is I'll create this as a separate component. So in my src folder, I'll create a new folder called components, and here let's just create a text input, my text input.jsx rfce, and yeah, so let's just import it, text input, and I think that's all we need for now. So yeah, we will need value and on change. Okay, so yeah, we just need these two functions, and let's call it my text input. Okay, so now let's just copy this, and yeah, this would have to be on change, and yeah, let's just remove that. Let's copy it one more time. Okay, and yeah, let's just replace it. Okay, so on change text, it should be on change, and let's just test it. Okay, so test and test. Okay, so I think we have to add some margin to it and some padding. So let's just do that. Padding of 10 and margin of 5. I think that looks good. Let's try 10. Okay, yeah, this looks let's just stay with 6. I think this looks much better. So yeah, we now have our text inputs. So all we need now is a button. So let's just create a component for that. My btn.jsx and rfce. Okay, and here I'll just create a touchable opacity and have text inside, and here I'll be getting this text from the props. Okay, so on press E, okay, yeah, so on press E, so on press, let's just call it like this. And okay, I think something is wrong here. On press, oh okay, okay, so we were missing this arrow, so now it's fine. And let's just my text input in the login, my btn, let's just import this component, my btn, let's close it. So we need two components. One is text, it will say login, or let's do sign up first, and other one would be on press. So now we don't have Firebase installed at the moment, so okay, so we didn't have so we don't have Firebase installed at the moment, so we'll just get into installing that. And yeah, sorry about that. Okay, so I think we have to install also import text. I think we forgot to do that. Okay, so now we have our button as well, so let's just add some basic styling to it, just so that it's like different and you guys can see it. So let's change the background color to let's do light blue. Okay, and padding of 10. Okay, and border radius of 20%. Okay, yeah, this looks good. And I think we also have to style the text, because I think it will look better if it was white. So let's just try that, white. Okay, now this doesn't look good. Let's try wheat smoke. Okay, it's the same. So yeah, I think let's just keep it as, or let's just do blue. Okay, yeah, this I think looks better. So the width should be the same, which was 80%, just so that there's some consistency. And text align center. Okay, so we also have to add some padding to it. So what I'll do is I'll just create a self-closing view tag and add the styling to it of margin of 10. Let's try 20. Okay, yeah. Oh, so it should be white. Okay, the color. Okay, yeah. So let's just test the button now, and you can see that it's working. So this function is being passed from this on press. So now we have our form. So let's just go and let's start setting up Firebase. Okay, so if you go to firebase.google.com, you'll be navigated to this page, and or you can just Google it. Just Google Firebase, and this would be the first link. If not, you can just check the link in the description. I'll have it there. You have to go to the console. It might ask you to log in, but like as I already have logged in, so it isn't asking me. And here you might not see any projects. You should just see add projects. So let's just add a project. Let's call it social media, for example, and you can keep this enabled, it's fine. And here it might ask you to create a account. You can do that, but if you don't want to do that, you could just go and disable this. But I am keeping it enabled, so I'm selecting the default account and I'm creating a project. Now this will create a project for us. And if you're new to Firebase, what Firebase is actually, it's a backend as a service. It gives you most of the stuff that you might need in your backend, and it gives you for a fee, but it's free when you're just starting out, so you don't have to worry about entering your credit card or any kind of that information. You can just start using it. So it's ready now. Let's continue. And yeah, okay, so so once you have created a project, you'll be navigated to this page, and these are just some of the services that they have available. So we are going to use this authentication one, and in the next one we'll use Cloud Firestore and storage to store the images. So now what we'll do is create a web app. Let's name it social expo, and we don't need the Firebase hosting, so we won't be checking this. And let's register it. And now it would ask you to install Firebase, so you could just go ahead, copy this and run this command in your terminal and just press enter. So meanwhile this installs, let's have a look at this file. So this is your Firebase like functions file. So this is the main file that you'll need. So what we'll do is we'll just copy this and go here to src, create a new folder called utils, and let's name this firebase.js. We don't have to put it in the utils folder, but I like to keep my file there. So, and this is it. So what this actually is first we are initializing the app. So from the node modules, there is let's just show it. So in the node modules, look for this folder Firebase, and you can see that it's now going into the app directory. So that means it's opening this, and in the dist app src, here is your, I think it's in the index.dts. In some of this file, you can find the function of initialize Firebase. So I think this might help you guys in understanding like how it works. So here we're just initializing the app by passing it this Firebase config, which has all of our information like API key, project ID, and all of that. And we are also importing analytics as well. So we might also need authentication. So before adding that, let's just continue to our console and let's add this authentication. Okay, so once you are here, you will have to click on get started so that it can create an instance for you. And once this is ready, these are all the methods that they support. So let's just use email and password for now. Let's enable this and save it. Okay, so now it's enabled. So one tip for you guys, if you guys want to like if you guys want to see like how you can use what code to write, so I highly recommend this URL. It's the official Expo documentation, and they just go through how you can use Firebase. So what I like to do is like as for now we are just using the authentication. So let's just open this link, and it has navigated me to that like the documentation. So you can see that add and initialize the authentication SDK. So let's just copy this get auth function. Let's add it, and yeah, okay, so they are also storing it in a variable. So let's just do that. Let's save it. Okay, and yeah, I have installed the package, so I'll just run it. Okay, so after that, let's just ignore this. Okay, so sign up new users. So this is the thing that we want to do now. So it's saying that import get auth, and it's asking us to import these two functions. So what we'll do is we'll copy this, go to our login. Okay, let's just open this, and here let's just import it on the top. Okay, so we have imported this. Okay, yeah, it's saying no apps. Okay, yeah, it's restarting. Okay, yeah, let's just copy this. Let's store it here. Or what we can do is like, we have already created that auth in the previous firebase.js. So we'll just be importing that from there. And this one, we'll just create a function of handle sign up. This will be an async function, and we'll just paste this function inside of this. function that we just created. Let's add a wait. So yeah, that auth token we have to add here. So we have that in our Firebase. Okay, okay, I think we haven't exported it. So yeah, let's just export it as well. So now we should be able to see our auth variable. So yeah, now it's fine. So we won't have to create like that variable in each of our file. We can just import it from that one place, which is very handy. So now let's just copy this, and instead of saying console log, we'll just paste this function that we just created. And let's do one more thing. Let's add a placeholder prop as well. We'll call this password, and this will be email. And what we'll have to do is go to our my text input. We'll just like pass it as a prop, and I've just added it here, and that's it. Now we should be able to see our props. Sorry, I mean my our placeholder as well. So let's just refresh. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just close this Expo app and like reopen it because I think it's causing some issues. So yeah, okay, opening on iOS, and yeah, let's just wait for it to open up. Okay, so in the meanwhile, what we'll do is, okay, so okay, to fix this error, we just have to like remove analytics. So we'll just do that, as it isn't supported on Expo. So you can see that once I've removed it, it's fixed now. But if it doesn't work for you, just try restarting your Metro bundler and reopening your app, and it should be working fine. So now we can just go to your login screen, and let's test the sign up function. Okay, so let's test it. So test at test.com, test 1 2 3 4, and did I call this function? Okay, I think I haven't written any logs, so let's do that. Console log user data user. Okay, let's just save it. Okay, and just to be sure, you can go to this users section to see. Okay, you can see here that the account that we just used to sign in has been created, so that's good. So now that our sign up is working, let's do one more thing. Let's just copy this and let's go to the documentation, and let's see how to log in. So to log in, we just need this function, and rest of the stuff is pretty similar, so we won't be touching that. So let's just replace it, and don't forget to import that function. So I have imported it as well, and let's call it handle login. So now we should be able to log in as well. So okay, or what we can do is let's just create a new button to log in. Later in the video, we will create a separate screen for logging in and signing up, but as we are just setting up Firebase and seeing if the functions work, so that's the only reason why we are doing it this way. So now I have my button here as well. Let's just copy this, margin bottom, and we should have some space now. So let's press login, and I guess, okay, yeah, so you can see here that we have gotten the response of logging in. So now how do we navigate to the next screen? So for that, we can use a function which is provided by navigation, use effect, and we'll only run it once. And let's just, okay, so to navigate it once the user is logged in, we can just use this function provided by Firebase of onAuthStateChanged, which returns us the user. And let's just close it off. Let's close this bracket. This should be in a bracket, and the function, okay, it should look something like this. Now inside of here, we'll just check if the user is valid. Then we'll just navigate it, navigation.navigate. Okay, I don't think we have imported it, so let's navigate. And oh, we aren't going to use navigate, instead we'll use reset, because we don't want to be able to come back to this screen once the user has logged in. So we'll keep the index as 0, and the routes would be an array, then curly bracket, name of your component. So mine is home, so that's why I've written home. Now else, we can just write whatever logic you want. So as we have nothing right now, so we'll just keep it like simple. And I think this is it. But before I save it, let's just call this, because we are already getting it as a prop, and you can see that the app has navigated to the home screen now. Okay, I think let's try logging in. Test at test.com. Okay, let's just bring it back here. Test 1 2 3 4, log in, and yeah, it works. So now what we can do is we'll just add a sign out button here, and I think then we can be good. Okay, so my btn, I'll just copy that from here. I think that would be much easier. So yeah, let's just copy this, my button, let's call it log out, and let's create a sign out function. So the sign out function is very simple. So let's just import navigation as well from here, and sign out, let's make it an asynchronous function. We'll use the auth that we have and just use sign out, and yeah, that should be it. So yeah, we also have to navigate it, so I'll just copy that function that we've already written to navigate, which is here, and we'll navigate the user back to the login screen. Login. Let's make sure if the spelling is correct. Yeah, it's correct. So let's just save it and let's test it. Okay, so log out. Okay, yeah, and now the user is logged out, and so now we have the authentication. And okay, so now we have authentication set up on our app. On the next video, we will integrate Firestore, which is a database that we can use to store our documents. And in that video, we will go through how we can store like the username, profile picture, and all that kind of stuff with the account that we have just created. And in the we'll also look into how to upload images. So if you are interested in these kind of videos, like, please like, subscribe, and share it with your friends, and see you in the next videos.